Hello again. In this video I'm going to be looking at how I made another mug kitchen. The difference this time is I've been watching a lot of Dainer made clips, a guy that does wonderful work with pallet wood, so it just challenged me to think what I could do with some, and could I make a product that looked good despite using free and readily available wood. Quite pleased with how it's come out. It's finished quite well. Let's hope the little girl whose birthday this is for enjoys it. First part of this build is simply ripping down some of the pallet lengths and putting them through the thicknesser, trying to make everything the same size and nice and smooth. The thing I like about pallets is you get lots of different variations in the wood colours, so here I'm just picking out the best orientation for them all. Then comes what felt like half a bottle of glue being poured out to stick all the lengths back together. I did this in two separate parts, which just enabled me to stick them together a little bit more easily with the clamps that I had. I have some homemade clamps for these larger glue ups, although they're not very good. They'll have to do for now. So we're back again. I've left this to dry overnight. It's been weighted down, clamped up. Let's get it out and see how it got on. So this first joint looks absolutely spot on. No real dramas there. This one just raised just a touch. Nothing that the belt sander won't take out. Firstly, I just take off all the excess glue with the belt sander. I found that by scribbling on my work first with a pencil, it helps with the sanding, making sure that every part gets hit nice and evenly. And once it's sanded, it's now time to square off the ends. Routers are great for cutting circles, especially when you make a quick jig like this one. This went about 3/4 of the way down, and I finished it off with a jigsaw afterwards, and then came back with a flush trim bit just to make things all nice and neat and even. It's time to make the legs now. Each leg's made out of 3 lengths of pallet wood glued and stuck together. And here I am just drawing out the guidelines so I can recess to put the support beams in place. Should keep everything nice and neat. And then it's the old faithful combination of bucket loads of glue followed by some clamps which should hold these all in place, keeping them nice and tight. I move on and I go for a bit of a dry fit with the top going into the legs, making sure everything will go where it should go. And then once I've done that, it's back to gluing and trying to set it with as many clamps as I've got going. As you can see, some parts took a little bit of persuasion to get into place, and then fitting all the clamps was a challenge in itself. Whilst I was fairly happy with the fit and how the surface area is glued together, I just wanted to secure it a little bit more. So here I'm drilling some holes before sticking some dowels in with a little bit of glue, and then coming back and trimming them off, ready for sanding. The top's really starting to look great. Now it's time to put the backboard on, which I made just in the same process of thicknessing down some wood, gluing it together, and now here it goes, just gluing onto the support legs. Again, I'm just going to hold this in place with some dowel pegs, firstly for security, but secondly I thought the contrast in the different colours of wood would look quite nice, add another decorative feature. Believe it or not, this was the hardest part of the entire glue up, trying to get a shelf to stick on minimal contact whilst not really having anywhere to clamp it. It looks like it's gone on quite smoothly, but I think this was attempt 3 or 4 if I'm honest. It's time to start the finish process, and here I am just putting on a slight round over just to ease the edges before adding some finish which helped bring out the colour of the grain. I've added some hooks with some utensils on, and there's the finished product. Really chuffed with how it's come out, really looks a good finish.